Hello everyone, Harry here, thanks for joining me again. Episode 7, bit of a bonus one. I filmed way too much footage for episode 6. I'm still learning how this all works, so yeah, enjoy, we'll dive in, and thanks for watching. I'll look at rhythm guitars now, because I know when I was listening back the other day, some of it didn't really make any sense, and there was definitely some bits that I wanted to change, so... I'm actually pretty happy with this section here, with like the kind of big section. I think that's sounding pretty much how I thought it would. Let's get those vocals muted. I think I need to make a decision with these rhythm guitars here. I think I can definitely do better. I also think there's no point in having that bit being rhythmic if this is just, if the other bit that's next to it has no rhythm at all. It needs to be one or the other. I'm going to drag them down to here and mute them. And I think I'm going to get the guitar out and have a bit of a twiddle. It didn't feel like it flowed properly, and as I say, having one guitar being rhythmic and one guitar not being rhythmic is pointless. What's the point? It's just going to get lost in a mush. They're distorted guitars, it's not clean, you're not going to hear a really nice definition between left and right speaker even with headphones on, so just I need to make a decision whether I want it to go one way or the other. Oh, there was still tea in there. Meg made me this pot for my plectrums. It's lovely. Why is that so quiet all of a sudden? Right, so I'm going to have a bit of a play through this section. Like we did when we were writing, I'm going to put a loop on, I'm going to have a bit of a jam, and just see if I can find anything that works a little bit better. Okay, so I decided that I liked the washiness rather than the stabby rhythms. This whole section was supposed to be quite, well, it wasn't supposed to be quite washy, but it ended up being quite washy and it sounded dope. I found some chords that I really like, just not big low chords, just some nice twangy ones that kind of pick out some nice notes within the lead line and that kind of stuff. So I'll stick them in. Okay, let's have another go. Essentially I recorded that, it sounded shit, couldn't work out why. Guitar was completely out of tune, so... Right, so I'm dead happy with that section. I think that sounds super duper rad. I'm actually going to mute 2 of those guitars because we don't need that many. It's not a big point in the song. Enough of a step up, I think. Right, so one thing that I do want to do, when I was listening to this the other day, I realised that it would be really important. I'm just going to put a little break in before the last chorus, just to give it it just kind of washed into the chorus without anyone really noticing, and that would be a shame. So I'm literally just going to drop that back to... That's way too much. Yeah, back to there. So that'll be a... But obviously, it's now missing a snare. So let's find the cymbals and the snares, get them back out. You can actually have them go all the way across, but then put a fade in like that. Absolutely ace. This is sounding really good. I'm actually a lot happier with this than I was when I turned it on. I think what we need to change the bass for the second half. So when it comes into, on the second half of the last chorus, when it comes into the... we can do quite a bit in there actually, because thinking about it, we've just recorded these super dope guitars for that bit, which we can drop into here. Fill it out a little bit more. I'm going to stick some bass that follows the rhythm of the drums into that section as well. Don't know where my bass is. Right, so what does it do? Ooh! So on all the rest of the choruses, I've gone back to the D. So now I'm going to go back to the A because I think it sets up the next section a little bit better. Something like that would be rad, I think. Ooh. Ooh. That could be very interesting. I don't usually like to do this, but I think if I completely mix it up. So for this the section of the last chorus, when it changes to the rhythm again, not only am I going to put the rhythm in, I'm going to completely change the bass line. I think it'll just change the tonality of the piece a little bit, and that little chorus bit will become a lot more memorable because it'll just kind of completely change. So I'll put that in. It might not work, but I'll put it in and I'll see how it sounds. Needs to go to the D there, doesn't it? Always needs the D. I like that. I like that a lot. I've just changed the bass for that last section, but I've just discovered that it actually sounds a lot better than the bass I had. Again, good example, this is why I'm kind of flexible with stuff. It works with all the guitars I've recorded, so I can actually just C and P that all over the place. Why? Why do you do this? I can just C and P this all over the place, and literally with one little bass line change, completely change how the song sounds. I'm probably going to leave this here for today. I've made so much change to this. You know what, at the end of the video I'll even put this on in its entirety so we can listen to it and just compare and contrast how it sounded from the last episode to this episode. We've made so many changes, it hasn't taken a load of time, hasn't been particularly difficult. It's just a case of just evaluating what you've got, deciding whether you like it or whether you're not, and quite often if you've written a song where there's no modulations and there's no key changes or tempo changes or anything, quite often you can just drag and drop things between sections, which I find hugely helpful when you're trying to work through, like, this song's has been a little bit difficult for me. I'm usually an awful lot more psyched about songs when I've written them. I wasn't that excited about this one, if I'm being honest. Again, as I said last time, for the purposes of the video it worked absolutely perfectly, but really I didn't really like it. I thought it was a bit shit. I've dragged a few sections around, I've dropped a few things, I've changed one bass line, I've put a gap in, and I've put a little intro in, and all of a sudden I really like this song. And I think when you start to like something, you start to get a little bit of enthusiasm and motivation behind it, it tends to get better. It's a snowball effect. Yeah, excellent. I'm going to end this here, and excellent, perfect. Hello again. Yeah, sounding good, isn't it? A lot of changes going on without really changing that much, so that's always nice. Next videos will be up pretty soon, as I get around to filming them. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. See you soon. Thank you and goodbye.